What's up, everyone? I'm the Mana Dork. I don't have a catchphrase, but what I do have is another budget standard 8 rare deck for you. Today we're building around Insidious Roots, enchantment for green and a black. Creature tokens you control have tapped, add 1 mana of any color, and whenever one or more creature cards leave your graveyard, create a 0/1 plant token, and then put a +1/+1 on each plant you control. So we're going to try and put cards in our graveyard and then take the creatures out. We've got Fairy Dream Thief, who surveils for 1, which will help us get things in the graveyard, and then he pulls himself out of the graveyard. We got Snarling Gorehound, who puts stuff in the graveyard. We've got Rubble Belt Maverick, who puts stuff in the graveyard and then pulls himself out. And when he pulls himself out, he triggers the roots. We've got some Urborg Repossession to help pull stuff out of the graveyard. Not just creatures to trigger the roots, but other things we might need. 3 Diabolic Intent to go find things in the deck if we're missing a component. Undead Butler, who puts creatures in the graveyard. And then when he dies, you can exile him to return a creature from graveyard to hand. So he's actually going to make 2 things leave the graveyard, giving us 2 triggers off the roots. Armored Scrap Gorger takes things out of the graveyard. Tyvar puts things in the graveyard and then takes them back out. He also untaps our plants, and his static ability gives our plants haste, or rather the ability to activate as though they had haste. So we're able to get instant gratification and instant use out of our plant tokens. And then we've got Skyfisher Spider to help us deal with permanents, as well as giving us a way to put things into the graveyard so we can take them out, and taking himself out when he dies. Then we've got 22 lands, including 1 Takenuma, again something that helps us fill the graveyard. And that's the deck. All right, let's go see what we can do with this. This looks good. Both colors and a couple roots. Can't be mad at that. Start off with a Maverick. 2 guys in the bin. Perfect. No blocks. And an anvil, okie doke. No attacks. And now this time we will use the Rubble Belt to block, so that we've got something to pull out of the graveyard right away with the roots. Unless the opponent does something like that. Block anyway. Epicure. Alright, let's try this again and see if they've got another removal for us. And I just played those in the wrong order. War Leaders, alright. Block there. We go to 12. We go to 11-10. Alright, double roots. Get a green. Pull out the spider. Get Alright, 2 roots triggers. We don't need another one. And you can go in the bin. I'll use that green. Pump this guy up a little bit. 2 more triggers. 2 more dudes. 2 more scries. Well, not scries, surveil. No attacks. It should be big enough to block some things. We're down to 8. Down to 7. It's like New Year's. Down to 6. Down to 5. Alright, let's see what we can do here. That. Nope, that's not the ones we're returning. Return that. Return that. Four triggers on the roots. You can go in the bin. You can go in the bin. Yeah, you can go in the bin. You can stay. Land. Get a green. Exiling a spider. 2 more dudes. You stay where you are. I'll put a counter somewhere in the middle. 2 more dudes. Drop this guy. Let's attack. And we're still going to have 8 blockers back. So I think we are in very good shape right now. I believe that's what the kids call popping off. Good game, opponent. There we go, both colors. Where do we start with? And we're keeping 6. But we're going to get rid of the Dream Thief because the Rebel Belt will surveil a little bit deeper for us. Alright. Rebel Belt. Both of those in the bin. Opponent is thinking. That's a swamp and an evolved sleeper. Alright. Go ahead and get ourselves a roots. No attack. And the tenacious. back a butler. Trigger and mill some things. No attacks. And the turn. We got a spider and a rubble belt down there. Alright. Alright. Block here. Block there. We lose in combat, but that's alright. We win in the long run because we're going to have 2 roots triggers because of the butler. Take action. Get back the spider. Forest. And we will go spidering. Sacrifice the little one. Get rid of you. Swing for 5. Tyvar will untap our big one. And that'll conclude our turn. Death Touch, when it dies, create a 2/2 Decayed. Alright. Put that in the bin. Make a Scrap Gorger. Nope, we hold off on that. Send those things. So that way we've got it not taking guys out before we risk the spider. Opponent goes to 10. Untap the spider. Put a counter on our flyer. And the turn. Now the thing to keep in mind is even though this does have summoning sickness, opponent's giving it up mid-lesson. What I was going to say, even though this does have summoning sickness, we can still use the ability because of Tyvar. So that gives us an instant speed, remove a guy from our graveyard, and pump up our plants because of the roots. Start off with the forest. Make a Scrap Gorger. Blue red, so pirates maybe? What do you do? That dude and that dude. Let's see if we can find our... Well, we lost one of our roots down there. No attacks. Yes, sir. Or ma'am. We will take that. Sacrifice this. Get one of these. Pass it back. Then when they attack, we can block with the butler, make 2 guys. And then if we want, make a 3rd guy by making a mana off the Scrap Gorger. Yes, you've got an extra 1/1 flyer. No blocks. Let's go ahead and make a mana during their end step. Get rid of this guy. Skyfisher. Get rid of you. Blow up you. Take that action. Get back a Gorehound. Attack with this guy. And if they block, we can go ahead and Scrap Gorge, make a dude, and trade in combat. No, we want that on top. I get a pickaxe out of the deal. Alright. Arsonist. You got it. Who are you going to pick? Who's our lucky bachelorette? Alright. Scrap Gorger it is. What else you got, opponent? You thinking? You conceding. Alright. We can run this. Make another one. You can go in the bin. Circuit Mender. Tyvar. Dream Thief. We've got enough lands now, I think. Opponent's at 19. block. Another mender. Alright. Let's attack first. Send both because we are not going to be able to save the Tyvar. Sack you. Get our roots. Untap a creature. Pass it back. Yep, you got our Tyvar. And that is a Cryptic Coat. Maverick. Know both of those. Some Tyvar action. Get back a Maverick. Keep a repossession on top. What else we got down here? Repossession to grab the spider and hopefully deal with the cloak at some point. Fly over for one. Yep, you got our Tyvar. Pit offering. Alright, exile our stuff. Thank you. We have anything left down here for dudes? Nope. So let's just attack a little bit. All right. Green. Sack you. Hit your face down, pay the ward. Sacrifice a creature token. Alright, you go away. And who did we get? Ah! Memory Deluge. Sure thing. Pit offering. Alright. What do we got left? Alright, we do have a guy. We've got a Tyvar. Alright. And we've got an extra roots now with Kicker, Warhound, and a Tyvar. Send those things. Opponent gets a draw. Returns the coat to hand. Another land. The Path of Peril. Alright. Exile our spider and start rebuilding. Mill 3. Get back a butler. Get a green out of you. Pump this guy. Get a green out of you. And yep, opponent did the math. So what did we think of the deck? This was a blast to play. It popped off and did amazing things. I am a little concerned that I cut myself short on lands, only running 22, because there were a number of games where we stopped at drawing 2 or 3 lands and that hindered our game plan. So I would think maybe I drop 1 spider and 1 Urborg repossession and go up to 24 lands. The other great thing about this deck is there's a lot of flexibility in it. Some decks, there's, 8 cards that you need 4 of each, and that's the standard build. But this, I've seen several variations with people running Graveyard Trespasser, Tenacious Underdog, Death Bonnet Sprout, Aftermath and Analyst, Splashing Blue for Philology Archaeologist. So it's definitely something that you can tinker with and, customize to make your own. So if you're still here, thanks for making it to the end of the video. I appreciate you taking the time to hang out and watch me play some games. Feel free to leave a comment if you like what you saw, or if there's anything you'd like to see me do differently. Whatever constructive thoughts you have, I'd love to hear them. Don't forget to like the subscribe and button the smash or whatever it is you do to show you appreciate the video. We're a new channel, so every bit of feedback we get helps out. Thanks again for joining me today, and I'll see you in the next one.